Hey, anyway, welcome everybody. And I made a decision after few phone calls I had yesterday. So today's meeting is pretty much on the fly in terms of how we're going to start, because I had some very powerful conversations yesterday with a few of you that did the assignment from last week. So I so appreciate you putting the effort, the energy to really grow your business, grow yourselves, and do that. And so I wanted to pay some attention to that, because what I realized through my calls and through the conversations that I had yesterday, that many of you have applied or looked at really applying um, aligned action and inspired action, yet, however, are not getting necessarily the traction or the different things that you really want to have happen in your business. So what I wanted to do is invite you to share if you feel up for sharing. I think there's a method where you can raise your hand and you can share any questions or any of the aligned, not aligned thoughts that you had that really go into what you're looking to do with your intention. Because remember, your intentions are going to create your reality. What you think about, all these things are going to come together. So if you believe that you're putting forth the correct technology and the correct thoughts, then I would like for us to have a conversation so we can see and maybe tweak a couple of things to see along the way what's happening, or maybe offer some guidance with bringing the intentions and the thoughts together. So what I want to do for just really quickly, before moving on to anything else, is just like open this up. Please do not be shy. There are no silly questions. There are no silly thoughts there. If you're looking to build your business with intention, with heart, with love, to make a difference, to create the life of your dreams, this is the opportunity to absolutely have that happen. And let's participate together, because together we can do a hell of a lot more than we can do by ourselves. So it looks like we have somebody that's raising their hand.
Yes, Randy, we have Stephanie, and I'm going to unmute you now, Stephanie.
Okay, my goal is 175. I can see it. I started at 417 and I'm at 397.2 right now. It's been 2 months.
Okay, so back me up and tell me what your goal is. What is it that you're attempting to do? And what do you intend to do, or what's in your way? So just back me up a little bit.
Okay. My goal is to get to 175.
Okay.
And to do that, I've been using Jump products.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in counsel with people as mentors and accountability partners.
Okay.
And what else did you want?
Are you following your intentions? Are you releasing the weight that you want to release? Right. So the plan is working. Are you keeping yourself emotionally grounded, eating the right foods, making sure you're putting the right substances in your body?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then it sounds like you're pretty much on track.
Yes, sir. I have, because I am a living caregiver.
Okay.
She has junk food all over the house.
Right.
Sometimes that's really, really difficult for me.
Yes.
Because I can give it to her, but I can't touch it. I can't even lick my fingers. And I have to be strong enough to not do that. So I've succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 46 days, no sugar, no soda.
Congratulations. That is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. And so here's the one thing I will share with you, and then I'll let you go. But the one thing that I think is really incredibly important that you're doing is sometimes willpower is not enough, right? So Just make sure that you're not judging yourself, and really do your best to stay out of situations where you have to give somebody else junk food. It's really, I know that's, it may be part of your responsibility, but just make sure that before, when you do that, you set your intentions and you stay strong in what you're doing for yourself. So you make sure, you may want to take a 2-minute to 5-minute really quick meditation for yourself, really get yourself grounded, stay true to who you are, and know that, the only things that you're putting in your body is what serves you, what serves your body, and what really moves you towards your intention of 175 pounds. So congratulations. I am so proud of you. That is freaking awesome. And thanks for jumping on and sharing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there anyone else? I don't see any other hands raised. All right, Rhonda, I'm going to unmute you now. So make sure you are unmuted on your end.
I'm unmuted.
Great.
All right, gotcha.
We hear you.
And so my goal in 2019 was to live in a canyon so that I could become inner fit in a new way. And I'm very earthy. I had moved to Frisco, Texas to launch a foundation. And although I was able to walk in a beautiful setting, it wasn't the same as being in a canyon and hearing the sounds and being a part of that peace. And it took me until April 23rd of this year to accomplish that vision. And I just wanted to encourage the young lady before me that sometimes in order to manifest, it does take time and discipline. I needed to be disciplined to get that business up and running, make it successful. And I was being home. I wanted to come home. Randy's heard that hundreds of times. I want to go home. And even by saying that, I was focusing on the wrong thing. I could have been saying, I am home, I am home, I am home. And in that way, Randy has been invaluable to me because I wanted to put my heart and my mind and my body in a situation where I could not only do what I do with the product every day, because I pound Jump Health product. I pound it. I'm a 4 scoop a day girl. I'm a 2 scoop a girl day Ignite. And I can't take enough fruit and veggie capsules every day. And I stick to the recipe of 2 of each. However, and I believe that's why moving into 60, that I'm so healthy. So just be encouraged. Having Randy as a mentor is everything, because I know he's a strong reason that I'm in the canyon I wanted. We can all have different visions, and sometimes it just takes time and staying on track. Randy.
Well, I so agree with you, Rhonda, and thank you for sharing that, because there is so much truth in that. And one of the things, I'm going to bring it back to one of the reasons why we even opened up this conversation, which was there were some challenges that people were having with inviting people into their business. And I really wanted to address that. And Rhonda, what you said really is so true. It's like you have to hold a clear intention, right? You have to hold a clear vision. And what we'll talk about as we go through tonight's presentation is truly the tools to use to make that happen. We'll do it a little faster since we're doing this, but the bottom line is that when you're inviting someone into your business, it really is, your energy is so incredibly important, who you are, right? Because we all think that, this may not be popular for some of you, but we all think that it's the comp plan, it's this, it's all these other things outside of ourselves that inspire people. That's just a function. Those are just functions. What's going to inspire people is what they feel and what they feel from you, the energy that they feel from you, the possibility that their life can be totally different based on what they feel from you. And if you are real, right, and you are really sharing from your heart and your story, what will happen is that's what people will feel, that's what they'll respond to. And then we give them the tools and the products and the comp plan and the revenue sharing plan and all those other good things that go with it. But your business is a direct reflection of what you think, right? So people are, if people are leaving or not having conversations with you, the first place to look, and this is not blame, so don't misunderstand this, please. This is not blame, this is not judgment. This is just observation. You want to observe what's happening within you. So I'm going to just open it up for any more questions. And if not, then we're just going to keep this, we're going to keep moving with this.
Randy, I think you can keep moving. I don't see any hands at
Okay.
this time.
Fantastic. Then let's just keep it rolling. And we talked a little bit about what the assignment was from last week. And so what I want to take you through is just this really quick mini program. You might want to take some notes as we go through this, because we want to move from those thought processes that are not aligned to aligned thought process. Let me see if I can get rid of, there we go. Now I can see even better. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is recognize the non-serving beliefs, right? So many times the things that get in our way is what we believe. So we could be saying something else. That's why I don't really pay a lot of attention to what people say. I really pay more attention to their actions, right? Because we could be saying something, but our body, our energy, and everything else is sending out a totally different signal. And this is really where you want to be really clear about what your non-serving beliefs are and clear them out of your way. Because there's many thoughts of like not being enough. And for some of us, we stay locked into our past events, and we allow the past to really become our future, right? We keep talking about, I love all the people that I get to talk to in this business, and they all tell me something which I think is very interesting. They all tell me about what they used to be and how they used to do and all this other stuff. And used to has nothing to do with today, right? Today is a whole new day. Today is really about what are you doing in this moment? What are you doing moment to moment? Because to radically change your life, to have a radical transformation, you have to be totally present, right? We cannot allow doubt into our consciousness, because allowing doubt in your consciousness, you are done, right? And so we want to raise our vibration. So when people are around us, when they sense us, when they see us, they don't know necessarily what it is, but they know what they feel. How many of you have been around someone and when you got around them, you felt inspired? You were like, yes, I don't know what the hell it is, but whatever it is. Why do we think that events and so many different things drive behavior? Because belief happens as you get around people and you feel their energy, right? And it comes down to accepting the fact that you are a divine creation. There is nothing wrong with you. We've been so conditioned to think that we're broken, that there's something bad, there's something wrong with us and we have to be fixed and so forth and so on. You are a divine creation, ready to do anything that you choose to do, because you've already proven that to yourself more times than not. But we tend to focus on the things that have not worked instead of truly focusing in on the things that do work. And more importantly, and you're going to hear me say this a couple of times throughout this, you're going to hear me repeating a few of these things on and on as we go through tonight's presentation. Becoming what you want to attract, being the example of possibility. Because when I'm talking to someone, what gets me excited and inspired is that when I could see through them, that their vision and what they want to do and how they want to do it, and that my skill set, or there's things that I can do that will allow that to be a reality, then I can get excited, because I know it takes a team. It takes a team of people to accomplish major shifts in the planet. And we have one of the best teams in order to do that. So we want to continue to raise the vibration. We want to be having awareness of our thoughts. So here's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. This is really simple, right? A lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, you know. So I'm just being a reminder of what you already know, right? So we have an awareness of your thoughts, but what you want to see is how they make you feel, right? How does it make you feel, right? So if you're feeling down, or if you're feeling disconnected, or something feels out of sorts, right? And there's so many things going on today that feel out of sorts. And if you're out of sorts, your business is going to be out of sorts, and everything else around you will be out of sorts. And the only way to raise that vibration is to be conscious of how you're feeling and make time for stillness so you can make that universal connection. Make time to get still so you can get back in touch with your greatness of who you really are, the powers, your unique gifts, right? And more importantly, we say this, but I'm talking about you got to live this. Pay attention to the food you put in your body. There are some foods that will energize you, and then there are some foods that will destroy you, right? And so I'm not saying that you never have sugar or you never do this. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that you pay attention to what you're putting into your body. You want to remove the low energy substances, alcohol, drugs, porn, any addictive things that keep you from your greatness. See, because all those addictive things, what they do is they distract us, right? So many people that have issues with looking at releasing weight or doing or overcoming addictions is because there's this hole that's inside that they're trying to fill up, right? And so the alcohol, the drugs, porn, anything addictive, smoking cigarettes, whatever it may be, right? Those things keep that hole expanding, right? So you're trying to fill it up with addictive things. And so you want to remove any low energy substances from your diet, from your life, right? Also, this may surprise you, but make sure the music that you're listening to is of high vibration, right? Because there's some music that sometimes when I'm working out in the gym that I hear and I'm like, oh my Lord, I can't, my brain, it's like I can't take it in. I can't take the music in, I can't take the news in. All those things that put me into a place of low energy, all those things that put me in a place of fear. And it's like, why do I want to be in a place of fear when I can be in a place of expansion, right? And you want to raise your vibrations? I read all the time. Read books that expand your consciousness. Read books that expand your imagination, that make you think further, bigger, longer, harder than what you may think. Get outside of yourself. But the most critical piece of all this in raising your vibration, and God knows I am working on this every day, is self-forgiveness. Because there are times when I hear myself talking to myself and I would not allow you or anybody else to talk to me like I sometimes talk to myself. And when we have an awareness of that, we can stop it immediately. Don't judge it, observe it, stop it, change it. Remember the ACT formula: acknowledge, challenge, transform. Okay, so releasing ego, right? Releasing ego is one of the things that when you are in direct sales, right? Now, I am not saying this or pointing this at anyone. I'm just giving you the reality of my experience, right? So there are times when you're working with people or talking to people or people are talking to you. Just imagine as people were talking to you about joining Jumpin', becoming part of this process or whatever it was that was going on. So here's some of the things that we want to look at, because ego is easing God out and our idea that we're so self-important, right? And I hear so many people talk about learn how to edify and do all this other stuff. All I know is that I want to talk to people who are real. I want to talk to people who have my best interests at heart. I want to talk to people who I know care about me and I care about them. And we're going to do something together that literally is going to change and shift the planet. I don't need a whole lot of other stuff. So you want to recognize where you may have a sense of entitlement. Sometimes we can have that, and it can be on a very subconscious level. Thing I love, and I think I shared this with you about 4 Agreements, one of my favorites. And one of the things in 4 Agreements is don't take anything personally. We have a tendency to take something personally. If somebody doesn't like something that we share, or somebody has something to say about the products, or they don't necessarily agree with something, we take it personal, we get our little feelings hurt, we want to go in the corner and hide, and then we don't want to talk to anybody anymore. And so it's just, it's not personal. Everybody's entitled to be who they are and do what they want to do. The biggest thing I see that's incredibly important for all of us is to really collaborate instead of compete. Man, I tell you, I was raised in competition, right? And I have to tell you, in order to truly shift and have a radical transformation, right? In order for us to really transform this planet, overcome obesity and some of the other big, hairy goals that we have as a company to do, it's going to take a hell of a lot of collaboration with other companies, with other people, with other things for us to have that happen. The days of competition are not going to get us to where we want to be. And this is one of my favorites: be happy instead of being right. Sometimes my personality is, and some of you have taken this assessment, I'm a knowledgeable achiever, and knowledgeable achievers love to be right, right? And so one of the things that I'm learning very, very quickly and continue to practice is I'd much rather be happy than right, right? And the biggest hurdle that I had to overcome from my days at AT&T, from my days of when I first started in network marketing, and that was trying to prove myself to others, trying to prove that I was okay, showing the world that I was different, right? And the bottom line is that we are already perfect and good with who we are and what we need to do. So really, if you want to release the ego, just stop trying to prove yourself. Get to a place where you accept and appreciate what you have. Many people talk about what they need or what they don't have or what they want. And the bottom line is that it cannot grow, it cannot manifest to you, it cannot be attracted to you if you are not in a place of accepting, allowing, and appreciating what you have, right? And really becoming clear that you are more, much, much more than what you possess. Much, much more than what you possess. Because we've been conditioned to believe that it's this car, it's this watch, it's this house, it's all of these things. And that's why you see on the bottom of this page, something that I want us all to be aware of, especially as we're building our business and we're in this industry of direct sales. And I call it the imposter syndrome, where people try to pretend that they're more than what they are, right? They try to pretend that they have more, do more, be more, right? And I got to tell you, in today's environment, we are so much smarter than that today, right? So if you've been finding yourself living from past stories, feeling like sometimes, I know I've had many, many times in my life where I felt like a fraud, right? And so I would, this is why Tara could tell you, I read so many books and I stay so engaged in what's in my mind and what's in my consciousness. And I try to be very, very careful what comes out of my mouth, because most of the time, I have to give myself enough time to think before I express. Because if I just express, generally ends up with me having to apologize. So the imposter syndrome is critical to be aware of, right? Because here's something that I believe, and this is just my belief. When you show up fully as who you are, and the people that I've met and the people that I've had the great opportunity to share with in this company are some of the finest people that you ever want to meet in the face of the earth. And so when we show up fully as we are, with no damn agenda, right? So when we show up with no agenda, so that some of us go and attempt to grow our business and we do it with that intention, right? So I would say to you, please really look at your intention. Is your intention to serve? Is your intention to make a difference? Because if your intention is to just get somebody to help you build your business so you can get a promotion, the chances are that that person is going to go the other way. If your intention is to serve them, if your intention is to be fully engaged with them, if your intention is to do more for them than you would do for yourself to ensure that they get the success that they want, you will have a different outcome. So much of what we experience, we really have to look at what is our true intention. And sometimes our results will be the answer to that. So please be very aware of the imposter syndrome. I love all the people that talk about the duplication process and this and that. And most of the time, what we're duplicating is failure and stuff that just doesn't work. Okay, so let's go into some of the fun stuff of impacting and influencing others. And this is what is so incredibly important. If you get nothing else out of what we're talking about today, if you get nothing else, I invite you to please understand and get this through everything else. You receive what you desire for others. You receive what you desire for others, right? So if I desire for you to be successful, if I desire for you to have that strong residual income, if that is truly my desire and I'm working with you to have that happen, guess what? The law says I have to receive it. Right? And how that happens is that we create a divine relationship with those you work with, not these fake relationships, not these relationships based on, okay, well, you're getting a lot of people or you're getting a lot of customers. So I love you, so I'm going to work with you all the time, right? No, I'm talking about creating a divine relationship with the people you work with so they know you got their back, that they know that you are there for them every step of the way and you're not BSing. You are part of their history, you're part of their life, you're part of their story. And you want to recognize the greatness in the people around you. Because as you see the greatness, as you see what's so great about them, guess what? you're also taking a peek at yourself, right? And so as we recognize the greatness in others, we recognize that greatness in ourselves. And you want to build a supportive community based in love. And again, I'm talking real love, ladies and gentlemen, right? I've been around enough companies and enough people to understand what the fake love is. And the fake love is just about what you can do for me, you know, what you can do for me, right? What you can do and how you can build. And we're going to be best friends because you got this large contact base. So I'm going to love you. No, I'm talking about build a community based in love where you are supporting and really working with people so they know who you are, they know you have their back, and they know you are there for them. And above all else, make sure you deliver excellence in everything you do, right? Above and beyond the ordinary, a meta life, above and beyond the ordinary. Anybody can be ordinary, anybody can be mediocre. We all know what to say, but when you deliver excellence and when people know that you're bringing your best you, so when they know you're bringing your best you, guess who shows up? Their best you will show up for them as well. So that's incredibly important. So one of the things you hear me talk about often is your presence is your power. Your energy will either draw people to you or push them away, right? When you are connected and in harmony with your intention, I can tell you the impact that you have on people will truly amaze you, right? Because when your presence is your power, and I'm just going to read through these, right? When your presence is your power, it instills a calmness, right? People feel calm. They feel it because they know that they are around someone who's truly about serving and making a difference and just doing, right? Really being, right? People leave feeling energized. They get in your energy field and they're like, man, I don't know what's going on, but I want to do more. I want to feel more. They feel better about themselves, right? So when people are in your presence and they're in your energy, they're encouraged. They encourage others to feel unified, right? So people want to work together, right? They come together. They're like, oh man, you know, we can help families. We can feed hungry families. We can walk. We can buy products. We can share this with people and assist people who would not have something to eat. And all of a sudden, because of our little actions, we're making that happen. We can inspire others to greatness, right? So when we become that possibility, we truly can inspire others to be great. So let's talk about this because I look at when you want to build a team, right? And I love the little graphic, right? When you want to build a team, there's some keys to building a team. And you see the heart and the head, right? And it really comes down to, and this was the biggest, and still to this day, right? I work on this on a daily basis, sometimes a moment by moment basis. It's to lead with your heart, not your mind. Because your mind will tell you a whole bunch of things, but your heart, your instinct will always tell you the truth if you sit still long enough to listen, right? So the bottom line really comes down to become who and what you want to attract, right? So like if you're looking at what is your ideal, what does your ideal business partner look like? What do they enjoy? How are they, right? So as you can start to see, right, and start to feel what that would be like, the people that you would love and want to be around, then you get to become that, right? So become who and what you want to attract, because what happens like attracts like. And so the more you become like that, the more open you are, the more willing you are, the more service-minded you are, those are the people you will attract. Give what you desire to receive, right? Give what you desire to receive. So if you desire to, whatever it is that you desire to receive, give it, right? Give it. It will come back. That's just the law, right? You receive what you desire for others. What you desire for someone else is what you will receive. That's why resentment, anger, frustration, all those things, we want to, as fast as we can, remove them from our energy field. That's why self-forgiveness is so important, right? And again, this is something we talked about earlier, but I'm bringing it back again because it is so important. You want to create divine relationships. And divine relationships are just one that's based in real love, right? It's not a religious or anything of that nature. It's just based in real love, real care, real connection, right? No BS, just real connection. And that's building a sacred community where everybody's valued, everybody's honored, everybody's opinion is heard, everybody feels like they contribute to the community. That no matter what their role is, no matter what their part is, they are part of the community. They're part of what's happening, right? And we talked about this a little bit ago, is deliver excellence. I cannot tell you, my success that I had at AT&T basically became because very few people wanted to deliver excellence. And it was one of the things that I was committed to. The moment that I put my hand on the door to walk into the building, I transformed myself into this person that only knew how to do excellent things. And that's how I lived, that's how I breathed, that's how I walked, that's how I talked. And that's what allowed me to have the level of success that I had, was because I wasn't settling for the ordinary. I wasn't settling for the mediocre. I wasn't settling for what everybody else was looking for. I was looking for how can it be better? How can I do more? What else could I do, right? And remember, your presence brings out the best in people. We're talking about remembering this whole process. This is part 2 of what we're talking about with intentions and our thoughts and how bringing all of these things together. Your presence will say so much about what your intentions are, because that's what people are going by, right? And so you want to attract the spiritual partnerships based on love and trust. And again, we're not talking about religion. We're just talking about love. We're talking about our spirits. We're talking about at a soul level. We were connecting at a level, understanding that we are all one and we're in this together, right? And if we can get that, like it's, last night when myself and Neil were doing the call, the connection, the feel that I get with him, from him, the energy, the desire, the connection, his ability to want to serve and make a difference in the lives of other people, just the way it's just all of that when you're in that presence, when you're in that energy, it's like, yes, right? It just brings out more and more and more of the best of you. So you want to bring that with you everywhere you go, and just have real love be your compass, not conditional love, which is based on what someone can do for you. I think we talked a whole lot about that already, right? So bring your attention to reality, right? So this is really, when you look at abundance, some people think of abundance just as money, things, but abundance is so much more than that, right? We have an abundance of water. We have an abundance of so many things in our lives. When you look at how many times our heart beats and so many different things that our body just does. So if you really want to attract abundance, if you really want that to be part of your reality, I have to tell you, you must see the world as an abundant, friendly place. And that's hard if you're watching the news. Man, if you're watching the news, it is hard to see the world as a friendly place, right? But there's things that you can focus in on and see the world as a friendly place, who you're surrounding yourself by, right? You want to know that without fail, without question, you can attract abundance and success into your life because you already have. Any of us that are on this call, we've had success, we've had abundance, we've had many things, we had them come, we had them go. And so we know that we can attract it. It's just a matter of removing the non-serving beliefs and really getting clear about who we are, how we can serve, and the difference that we can make. You want to stay in that attitude of allowing and release resistance, right? Resistance is what stops us. And this is the biggest thing for me, is I get in my head and my head tells me all these things and my heart is pulling me in a direction, and I'm ignoring my heart because my head is winning the battle. So you got to allow the head to be still and then just let the heart function from the heart. You want to stay grounded in the present moment. You want to take inspired and aligned actions that support your feelings of abundance. So when you think about this world that we live in, and you think about the gifts that we have, and you think about the people's lives that you touch, right? And you can really bring that to yourself and bring that to others as part of your daily routine, whether it's just a smile, it could be any number of things that make a difference in the life of somebody else. Remember, your prosperity and success comes as a result of serving others. So many times people say, well, well, what if I get, I get all these things and other people don't have it? Well, I have to tell you that when prosperity and success comes as a result of serving others, everybody is served. Everything that you ever want to do, you will find ways to be able to spread that and be able to really sustain that prosperity and success when it comes as a result of service. You want to monitor your emotions and connection to source, whatever that means to you, whether that's God, however you choose to do that. I like to say the power greater than yourself, God, to really you want to stay connected to that power of universal love that fills all of us. Be generous with your abundance and keep the flow moving, right? Sometimes I was listening to something earlier today, and this person who was very, very successful continued to work 2 jobs when she didn't even have to, because she was raised poor and didn't have a whole lot. And so she was so afraid, she didn't want to keep it moving and flowing. And then finally, through a great coaching session that they had, she was able to move through that and make some things happen. So you want to keep the abundance and the flow moving. You want to take time to meditate and be in the stillness of your success. And above all, ladies and gentlemen, above all, maintain an attitude of gratitude. That is the most critical thing that we can do and have. Now, I also saw somewhere along the line here, Tara, I thought I saw somebody raise their hand. So, before we shut off, just want to make sure we don't have any other comments or anything that anybody else wants to share before we close.
Well, there was a private question that came in, and this is when you were on slide number, I'm trying to go back there about, you were talking about vibrations, raising the vibrations, slide
Right.
number 4.
Okay.
So the question is this, like, what do you mean by that? What kind of vibrations?
The vibrations are the energy that you feel within yourself. It's just like when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you ask yourself, right? Well, how do I feel, right? So where does that feeling come from? Where does that vibration come from? Everything on the planet is a vibration. The tables that we sit at, everything that we do has a vibration to it, right? So it's just a matter of really paying attention to what you're feeling, what's emotionally going on, and how you raise the vibration is by staying connected to the things that bring you joy, staying connected to the things that make you happy, staying connected to the things that allow you to feel good about who you are and what you're doing. So it's raising the vibration is really raising how you feel in your connection to how the things are going on around you.
All right, great. So we're going to go on to the Swift edition.
Woo, all right. Melissa.
Hey, can you hear me?
I got you.
Hey, hello. I just wanted to make 2 statements. One, this past week, the assignment was really, really powerful for me. I'm kind of in a state where I really try my hardest to pay attention to my thoughts, more so before the assignment. But this week, it was really, really powerful for me because literally I caught myself every moment in that moment in the thought. Why was I thinking that thought? Why was I feeling that way? And it was so much so to the point that I thought, you know what, you really think entirely too much. And that's literally, but what I wanted to say, even with that, for those who are in that same aspect and want to know, well, what is it that I can do when I'm in that moment and I'm thinking and I'm trying to recognize that thought and why I'm thinking it? Please, please, please write it down. Journal it so that way you can go back to it. That's something that I've begun to practice, and it's really helping me, because that was one thing that I didn't do. Because like I said, I would think something, then I would stop and think, okay, why did I feel that way about that particular incident? And for me, most of my every will of the moment thoughts are coming from things that are happening at work. So that's why, like I said, I've constantly got something that's going from one end to the other. And then I'm trying to bring in different ideas and different whys into what's going on in the moment. And it was so hard for me to try and take that step back to figure out, well, I'm doing what I think is the right thing or saying the right thing, but it's not bringing the result that I thought it would be. So I began after this assignment, after really, trying to battle back and forth with that, with writing it down. So that way I can actually go back to it. And when you do that, you really are able to recognize even more and kind of sit with it. And it really makes you understand.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. It's like sometimes when you have the discipline to do what you did and write it down, that's when you can have the biggest impact. Sometimes we have to use the acknowledge, challenge, transform, and do it in 5-10 seconds or less before we say or do something that will be really detrimental, right? Because we know immediately when you start to become conscious of your thoughts. And sometimes when you start to become conscious of your thoughts, you are 100% correct, Melissa. It seems like you just can't stop thinking. However, they say we have like 60,000 thoughts a day. The only problem is that we have the same 60,000 thoughts every single day, day after day. So by identifying that, writing it down, and then getting clear about truly what it is you desire, truly what the intention is that you want. And especially when you're going through a transition like you're going through with work and different things and expanding your business, right? It's like, it's so good to be able to observe those statements and thoughts without judgment. So great job.
Well, Randy, there are no more hands that are raised. And
Okay.
no questions that came in, private or otherwise.
All right. Well, I want to just say thank you to everybody for joining us. And the next 4 weeks will be some of the most profound as we start to come to a close of being responsible and really, really putting what we're talking about, because this is nice. I love having these sessions, but it really comes down to putting it into practice, right? So practice, practice, practice. Love you all. Take care and have an absolutely awesome night. Thank you so much for being with us.